So it was only within the last 5 or 10 years that I learned about this acronym called ACEs, which stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. And it grew out of research about looking at some of the emotional underpinnings that people may have had that led to certain chronic health conditions when they were older, such as heart disease or depression, cancer in some cases. And the researchers looked into over 17,000 individuals who were adults and asked them for kind of their health history. And then they correlated that with their current health status. And what they discovered was those that had experienced traumatic, seriously stressful and traumatic adverse events in their growing up years. That correlation between the numbers of adversities and high traumatic events that individuals had experienced directly correlated to their poor health conditions as adults. And so this study, while it was done, a few decades ago, it's really taken a while to kind of seep into our common understanding. And so it was, I mentioned in the last 5 or 7 years, I came into this realizing that we need to let everybody know how important those early growing up years are for providing protective, safe, and nurturing experiences for children and mitigating those adversities. And I can kind of tell you what these types of traumatic experiences look like. And the ACEs study kind of categorized them into certain areas. Child abuse and neglect was one particular area. Another one was growing up in a very dysfunctional household, which could include your caregivers struggling themselves with substance use disorders, with mental health conditions as adults, where there may have been interpartner violence in the home. So those kinds of chaotic and kind of uncertain household kinds of family issues would also affect children's growing up and the levels of stress that they were experiencing from their caregivers directly. And then the other is physical or emotional abuse. So those are kind of 3 areas that the study looked into, but we know that ACEs that we refer to as these adversities, there's really a continuum of types of stressors that children may experience.